You've already done it today. You didn't notice, and you definitely won't remember it tomorrow, but your dog will never forget it. There is something your dog remembers that you don't. Not because it was important to you, but because it was consistent to them. It wasn't a single moment, not one event, not even something you would call meaningful, but somehow it stayed. And over time, it became a pattern. After this episode, you will clearly grasp the patterns of canine mind and what they keep in there and how. Because dogs don't remember life the way humans do. They don't store memories as stories or timelines or explanations. They remember you as a feeling that repeats. And once that feeling settles into place, it becomes something very difficult to change. The difference between memory and meaning. Humans remember through meaning. We assign importance, we organize events, we explain them to ourselves. Dogs don't do that. They don't ask why something happened. They don't revisit it to reinterpret it. They don't rewrite the past. Instead, they do something much simpler and much more permanent. They associate. A tone of voice paired with a moment, a gesture paired with an outcome, a presence paired with a feeling. And when those associations repeat, they stop being temporary. They become expectations, not conscious expectations, but emotional ones. This is why your dog doesn't need to remember every time you were kind, or every time you were impatient. They only need to remember the pattern those moments created. A classic example of this is Pavlov's dog. The dog didn't need to understand the meaning of the bell. It didn't need a story or an explanation. The repetition of the sound simply became a physical reality. For your dog, you are the bell. Your small, daily habits are the signals that tell them whether the world is a safe place or a stressful one. But here is the good news. If a pattern can be built, it can also be rewritten. If you've realized you've accidentally been ringing the wrong bell, you don't need to apologize or explain. You just need to start a new repetition. Because to a dog, the past isn't a story they tell. It's just the foundation for the feeling they're waiting for next. The weight of repetition. Sometimes a single moment rarely defines anything for a dog. However, the repetition does that. If you raise your voice once, it disappears. If you raise your voice often, it becomes something else entirely. Not noise, but prediction and forecast. Your dog begins to anticipate not just what you do, but how you will feel while doing it. And this is where memory changes form. It stops being about the past and starts shaping the present. Because now, your dog is no longer reacting to you. They are reacting to the version of you they have learned to expect. Emotional imprinting happens quietly. The most powerful memories your dog carries are not dramatic. They are quiet. The way you enter a room, the way you look at them when you're distracted, the way your energy shifts when something else is on your mind. These are not moments you would ever try to remember. But your dog does, not consciously, not intentionally, but continuously, because dogs are not watching for meaning. They are watching for consistency, and consistency, over time, becomes truth. Why dogs don't forget the way humans do. Humans forget because we replace memories that we reinterpret them. We justify them. We let new experiences reshape old ones. Dogs don't do this in the same way. They don't argue with their past. If a pattern has been repeated enough, it doesn't get erased. It gets reinforced. Even when new experiences are positive, they don't immediately overwrite what already exists. They have to compete with it. This is why a dog who has experienced inconsistency doesn't instantly trust consistency. Not because they are stubborn, but because their memory isn't asking, "What is happening now?" It is asking, "Is this the same or different?" And that question takes time to answer. The memory of how you make them feel. Your dog does not remember your intentions. They remember your impact. You may believe you were just busy, just tired, just distracted, but your dog does not store those explanations. They store the emotional result. Were you calm or tense, present or distant, predictable or shifting? And over time, these impressions layer on top of each other, forming something that feels stable from their perspective, even if it was never meant to be. Trust is built from memory, not moments. Trust is often misunderstood as something that can be created in a single act. But for a dog, trust is not built in moments. It is built in memory. Not what you did once, but what you did repeatedly. Not how you acted at your best, but how consistent you were across time. Because trust, for a dog, is not about believing you. It is about recognizing you, knowing, without needing to think, what version of you will show up. And that recognition only comes from accumulated experience. The invisible map they build of you. Over time, your dog builds something you will never see. A map. Not of your house, not of your routine, but of you. A map made of emotional responses, repeated patterns, and subtle consistencies. This map tells them where they feel safe, when they should hesitate, how close they can come, what they can expect. And once this map is formed, your dog begins to move through life based on it, not questioning it, not analyzing it, just following it. Changing the memory takes more than time. Many people believe that time alone heals a dog's memory, but time, by itself, does nothing. What matters is what fills that time. If the pattern remains the same, the memory remains the same. If the pattern changes, but not consistently, the memory becomes uncertain, not erased. Real change only happens when a new pattern becomes stronger than the old one. And that doesn't happen quickly, because your dog isn't counting days, they are counting repetitions. The subtle power of consistency. Consistency is not dramatic. It doesn't stand out. It doesn't demand attention. But for a dog, it is everything. A calm voice, repeated. A predictable response, repeated. A stable presence, repeated. These things don't create instant reactions. They create gradual shifts. And over time, those shifts become something much deeper than obedience or behavior. They become emotional certainty. Why your dog responds before you act. Sometimes, your dog reacts before you've done anything at all. They move away, or move closer. They relax, or become alert, and it can feel confusing. But they are not reacting to what you just did. They are reacting to what they expect you to do. Because in their mind, the pattern has already predicted the outcome. This is memory in its most powerful form. Not recalling the past, but shaping the present before it happens. You are always being remembered, even in moments that feel insignificant. Your dog is forming impressions, not deliberately, not with effort, but continuously. There is no off moment where memory stops, because your presence itself is part of the pattern. The way you exist around them, especially when you are not trying, is what stays, and those unintentional moments often become the most honest ones. The quiet responsibility of being consistent. This is where something subtle changes, because once you understand how your dog remembers you, it becomes harder to ignore, not in a heavy or overwhelming way, but in a quiet, steady awareness that the smallest repeated actions are not small at all, that your dog is not waiting for perfection, but they are always noticing consistency. Your dog will not remember everything you did. They will not remember every walk, every command, every moment. But they will remember something far more important, the pattern of how it felt to be around you. And over time, that pattern becomes their version of you. Not your intentions, not your explanations, just your consistency. And once that version is formed, it stays.